the main focus of today's section will be putting some thoughts in the lines of assessment design and mapping outcomes. So this is what we will be going to do for today. So regarding the agenda for today's segment, obviously it will be always better to have a clarity on what we'll be having for today. What is today's menu, right? Obviously we will be beginning with the structural design of PO, PSOs, and ZO. So obviously you'll be wondering why, because in the previous day I've just given you a capsule for writing and a small topic outcome. And today I will just give you some one or two use cases on how to develop that capsule into writing a course level outcome, a program level outcome, and program specific level outcome. And obviously, when I go for this segment discussions with the faculty members, obviously the commonly asked question is that, so what is the ideal number of PO, PSOs, and COs? And that also we will be discussing while we are going through the program through this discussions. So here we, as I've told, that we'll be discussing on how to write the structural design of PO and PSOs. So we'll begin with this structural design of PO and PSOs. So if you're remembering what we have discussed in the previous day, that the topology, not the topology, that building block of outcome-based education. We have just analyzed the framework of outcome-based education, where our first step is to identify what will be the ideal program educational objective. And on the basis of the program educational objectives, we will try to identify what all graduate attributes that should be developed in that scholars, so that they can attain these program educational objectives of the educational goal. So what are the takeaways that you should provide to the scholars? We have just identified it in terms of graduate attribute. So actually in the previous day, I've told that both the graduate attribute and the program outcome are both to a greater extent same. So when a graduate attribute is being verbally stated in the form of an outcome, we can say that it is a program outcome. So the embryo of the program outcome is nothing but the graduate attribute. The graduate attribute verbally or literally written in the form of what the students will be able to do will make a graduate attribute into a program outcome statement. So that is why in the previous segment, though we have said that identifying that graduate attribute, we often call that graduate attribute also as PO. So this is the how you have to write a program outcome statement. We have found that one most important graduate attribute, which almost all the courses and all the colleges give priority, is communication skill. So as we know that every graduate attribute could be considered as a bunch of attributes or a bunch of competencies. A bunch of attributes or a bunch of competencies. Suppose if I take communication skill is not a single, it is not a single competency. What is communication skill? That is, if I want to factorize that communication skill, or if I further differentiate that communication skill, I can break that communication skill into multiple sub skills, like the ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to speak, the ability to comprehend, ability to communicate in a professional platform, the ability to use the new communication media, so likewise a number of abilities, the number of sub skills together, combined together, forms what? A communication skill. So we could similarly we could find that every graduate attribute could be fragmented or would be subdivided into a number of multiple attributes. Since it's a skill, I could say that some number of sub skills. And when we write it in the form, when we transform this graduate attribute into a form of outcome, we can say that what the students will be able to do in terms of the sub skills could be very beautifully mentioned, and that becomes a beautifully written program outcome. You can just I've just taken one or two use cases here. Communication skill, what does communication skill means? So when the student pass out of the your program, whatever program that you offering to the college, the student should demonstrate what the functional ability to read, one sub skill, right? This is only a dummy that I've taken. You can write it better than me, I'm sure. So read, write, speak, comprehend, and communicate effectively, negotiate, like that. You can add what all thing if you want to incorporate it into effectively using modern medias. So these are a multiple sub skills which is embedded in this one, right? Communication media for participating successfully. So we can see this is demonstrate the functional ability is the action verb, demonstrate. And what is the graduate attribute? Graduate attributes, the broken from the sub skills of the graduate attributes are listed here. And there, if you are remembering, I have just clubbed what? Verb, learning statement, and also mentioned the context also, isn't it? If appraise the effectiveness of effectiveness of optimization technique, context in the it at the industry. Similarly, you can just check demonstrate the functional ability. What is that? The verb part, demonstrate. The functional ability to read, speak, all these are the fragmented components of graduate attribute. Using modern communication media, you can add more according to your discretions. Then, what is the context for participating successfully in communication skill is needed to participate successfully in his social life, his career, professional platforms, and also in life situations. So I think this communication skill, which was a graduate attribute, and we called it as also program outcome. And what is that program outcome related to that graduate attribute? We have very beautifully phrased it in this form. Now this graduate attribute, we can call it as a program outcome. So likewise, every program outcome you can verbally write it in this form in a beautiful statement, so that by reading that program outcome, the stakeholders should be able to understand what they gain through this program. So that's something very, very important. So this is something where the program outcomes and program specific outcomes are not prepared by the teachers. It is being prepared from the institutional level, right? And one more example I've just taken: modern tool usage. That's also one important program outcome that most of the colleges may give priority. So here, the why have we can use multiple verb also. Here, demonstrate. I've just taken only one verb. Here, I've taken multiple verbs. Apply, use, and operate. Apply, use, and operate. Most probably, all these things are at the same level according to the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So, operate, appropriate modern tools, techniques, modern techniques, and various resources to various activities of life, career, and higher education with the knowledge of the limitations. So that could be a very beautiful, beautifully, literally expressed graduate attribute in the form of outcome. So when I say modern tool usage, what the students are capable of doing, they will be able to what? Apply, use, operate, appropriate modern tools, that is the new tools, techniques, and resources to various activities of life, career, and higher education. So the context is also set with the knowledge of limitation. So you have just specified one more additional thing regarding how it has to be considered. So this has become a what I could say, a graduate attribute transformed into the statement of an outcome, so that the stakeholders, while reading that outcome, will be able to know what I would gain if I do my course from this college, right? So it's a good practice. Now, normally it is asked a question, because now writing PO PSOs are that will be given from the college end. So normally it is a good practice. I often mention it's a good practice. Because it's the discretion is left to the college to customize these POs from 8 to 12. So don't go and write about 40 to 50 POs or PSOs. That is not appropriate. So if I if, when we do everything, what will be the optimum number? That is always better to take a concentration of that. So 8 to 12 will be an ideal number. Okay. So now going to this PSOs, program specific outcome, the structural design of program specific outcome. So when I write PSO, so before going to that, if you find there is any interruptions in my sound and all, you can please put it in chat. I'm just monitoring the chat in between, right? Because now when I'm in the presentation mode, I'll not be able to know what is the status there. So if any issues there, you can put it in chat. Okay, so coming to the program specific outcome, obviously we know that the program outcomes are something common to all the programs for the college. That is the normal practice that we could find in most of the institutions where we have gone with the implementation process. So program specific outcomes are this domain specific. So if it is a BCom program, the PSOs will be related to the both the COBOS, management, accountancy, so business related domain. If it is a computer, it will be related. It will be related to the computer science, about the different softwares, about hardware, all these things which could be integrated into that area. So that is purely domain specific. So here, the normal practice, it will be better to write. This is one suggestion of what we could do it in here. So I can read this one. That is apply. I'll be answering the entire that is questions on completion of the complete presentation. So if we go in between, if you deviate from this, obviously we will not reach anywhere. So the platform will be open for you for more time. We can discuss on that later. So program specific outcome, we could say that the first outcome you can just read. Apply. Obviously, the word apply signifies that we want to take all the content related to that particular program to an application level. So here, when you are writing program-specific outcomes, you are not considering one course, etc. You are considering the entire program. That is your subject matter, not not the graduate attributes, not the general attributes. Your subject matter should be taken into a functional level. That is what is mentioned here. Whatever you teach as a part and parcel of your subject, core subject, it should be elevated to a conceptual as well as to the functional level. That is something very, very important. That is, it should reach the highest level of the lower order thinking skills. That's what it is written here. Apply. This is a BCA program. This is a BCA program. So apply what? This mathematical foundations, because the core of the BCA could be mathematical foundations, algorithmic principles, computer science theory and practices. So apply all these things in the relevant computing situations. That is what that the course as a whole have to take their content related to their specializations into an application level. That's what is showcased. So it is not course specific. That is, it is not specifying the entire courses. There is no need to specify if because they can be about 30 to 40 courses for a program. So there is not needed to go to the course level. You can just take it as a program. That is, you want to take the entire courses of the program to an application level. That is what the first statement remarks. And since it's the BCA program, develop software systems and programs with ethical concerns. So you have just taken the entire curriculum to an application level, and then you want to take the students to what? The higher level. higher level means higher or thinking skills that they want to create, because computer application, their main program is to develop softwares and applications. That's their focus. So the student should be elevated to the position of creating something, developing software systems and programs with ethical concerns, with ethical concerns. That's something which that institutions focus. We want to not to go and create all the types of viruses or unethical hacking or something like that. We want to the students to develop software systems and with ethical concerns. Then another important thing that I've included here is use new design methodologies, operating system languages, and other software tools with reasonable time constraints. So that's something important, because then and there, the technological frontiers has been coming up with a explosive that is space. So the students have to accommodate, use the latest thing, current thing, then and there, with at a reasonable time constraint, because the technology that have come currently today will be updated within 1 or 2 within 1 year, or like that. So these things has to be accommodated into their workspace with a reasonable constraint. So that also has to be incorporated into the outcome. So this is a domain specific. Since it is a computer application, this is computer application specific. So if it is commerce, it is commerce specific. You can formulate in this way. So the first thing signifies that all the content and curriculum related to have to be brought to an application level, and then their skills competencies should be enhanced further to the higher order with respect to their subject. Since it is computer applications, obviously they are something related to software development, so that has to be brought, and also they have to be kept up this that is current with the latest. So that also they have to incorporate. So whatever they have included in the course at the beginning of the program, if something new things comes into the program, they have to accommodate that also. So that will give them a competency to accommodate the latest according to the industry as well as the technology progress. So, considering the number of yeah, these PSOs. I've seen that in some of the colleges. They have showcased about. There are some cases that I could see that about 15 to 20 PSOs has been written. But obviously, it is the discretion of the college. But I will say that it is a good practice. It is a good practice to optimize the number of PSOs to 2 to 4. So your ability is to conceive the entire what I could say the program as a whole, and what is the focus of the program. Construct these PSOs in that line. There is no need to go into minute details of every elements in PSOs. It could be written in this way. And finally, the responsibility of creating good PSOs will be from the department level, and course COs. It is definitely the responsibilities there with that of the teacher. With that of the teacher. So obviously there are two ways of writing COs. Normally, in most of the colleges that we have visited for these mentoring sections of OB, what I could find is that it is more easy also writing these this course outcome module wise. Module wise. Suppose if there are 5 modules for a course, you can just put one CO for one module, and if the module size is too long, you can or even put 2 COs or something like that. So that is one way of writing CO. That is this. That could be considered as a cross-sectional approach. That is one cross-section or one module. You can just connect it to one CO, or you can just have a longitude approach. Suppose if all the modules are having the same pattern, then you can just slice it longitudinally and write CO. So I will just give one or two tips for writing the CO. If it is written in a module wise, you can take the first module. Okay, obviously you are the resource person in your subject. Definitely, that is you are the topmost resource person. So you can take one a module, and you can ask the question to yourself. That is, after if I teach this module completely to the students, what the students will be capable of doing, that is in a comprehensive manner, you find answer to that. So that answer you formulate it in the form of a CEO by integrating what an action verb and the learning statement connected to that module. That will give you the CEO. That is, if it is only just a fundamental the fundamental conceptual topic regarding the organizational pattern. Okay, that is what you are expecting from the students. Okay, they should be able to explain the different organizational behavior. So okay, you can formulate it in that way. Or if you want to put it in a higher way, they want to apply this OMS law in addressing such and such situations. So likewise, you can create these CUs. So every module wise you can write. So the better part of that is that if you're putting a question from that module, definitely that is will be directly related to that particular CEO that is pointed to that particular module. And if all these modules are having a common pattern, as far as in my case of these optimization techniques, obviously there are different scenarios. In all the scenarios, the different modules, the pattern is same. First, we have to develop the model related to the particular environment. Then, solution of that model by adopting different algorithms, and then validating it. So this is the same thing which goes on for every topic. Only in the first topic it can be linear programming. In the linear programming, or there what we have to do? Okay, development of the model, solution of the model by simplex method or whatever method or graphical method or something like that, and validating of this. So this is for the first. The second could be transportation problem, development of the model, solution, and then validation. Then integer programming, so development model, solution, validation. So everything is having a common pattern. So you can just longitudinally prepare the CEO, like development of model related to developing formulating models with respect to the different scenarios, connecting the entire what you could say this uh, uh, the different units which has been included there. So it's the discretion is yours. So you can write it in any of these ways. And obviously, the same the question is that. So here, what I could say that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, identify. This is an introduction to computer, the first stage of first zero or basic level of computer. So here we could this identify the parts of the computer. So this I think writing CEO needs what? The subject expertise. The subject expertise. You are the authority in your subject. So what does the subject included? What is that subject focus? It is on the basis of that you have to write CEO. Okay, so I will not be in a position to write the COs related to the entire courses. So I am just giving you a framework. So you can just customize it according to you, because myself, my specialization is in basically is in education as well as in mathematics. So if you are going with the different topics, I am not an expert in all the topics. So I will be just giving you a framework so you can prepare it according to your expertise. So here we could find it design the geo. So here we could find that identify the parts of the computer, because it's only the basic computer lessons which has been included in that particular topic. So at this time, the students should know about the different components and what is the functions of the components, and they'll be able to identify, then explain the functionings of each component, explain the process, because all these explains at the conceptual level, because it is introductory level, and then algorithmic solutions for a given problem. So creating a small that is an environment where they can do some functional way, use computer system with ethical concerns. So these are some of the CUs that is related to this topic, introduction to the computer. So obviously, now the question is that there also you can customize the number of CUs to 4, 5, or 6, or even 7. Sometimes if there are 4 modules, put it in that way, or if it is 5 or 6, or not more than 7, that could be an ideal number. Because the thing is that if you are including about 15 to 20 COs for a course, definitely you have to calculate that CO level attainment of all these COs from the different multifarious activities that you have to provide through this program, as well as you have to map all these COs into the relevant POs, and then calculation will become more and more complicated. So it's always a best practice to customize it to these the respective numbers.